Welcome back, and I'm very, 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 very sorry, but I lied to you.
Liar.
Sorry, I'm a liar. Because we're not watching Alliance versus Empire, because Alliance is still in their game. And we're going to instead watch 4 Clovers versus Team Liquid, because that is potentially the battle for the top 2. Definitely, we're going to see Liquid as one of the favorites in the whole Group A. And I'm pretty excited to see them. And also, we have a new guy on the couch, Mott, replacing Slacks. How are you doing, Mott?
I'm good, thank you for having me. And very excited for this particular matchup because, honestly, I think Liquid are one of the top teams coming in here. They actually just took down Virtus Pro 2-0 in a recent qualifier they played. So I think they're one of, if not the favorites to make it out. And we'll see how they play up against a pretty strong opponent, in my opinion. Yeah,
we saw 4 Clovers just now. I mean, they didn't really have the greatest of games. I saw Bamboo on the Twitter saying throw, and it wasn't really, you know, it's all about being able to turn that mindset around. How do you think they're going to deal with that, Purge?
Bamboo sometimes has trouble with that. He tilts a little bit, but I think they definitely can come back. Like, they may have lost that Roche team fight, but excluding the Roche team fight, I thought they played relatively okay. It definitely seemed like scrambling, not as much organized play from behind, but I think they can definitely do it. They can definitely come back and have a good day one.
What do you think about this matchup, Lumi?
I think Liquid is the best team in the group, but I think 4CL, like I said earlier, is the most dangerous team in the group because we saw game 1, what they could have done. Amazing strategy, extremely well executed. So I think Liquid should be the one that's scared because they're not the underdog here. I think 4CL is the underdog, but 4CL would definitely take at least 1 or even 2 games. With that said, though, Team Liquid has won 9 out of the last 10 games. Their Razor has a 90% win rate. Their Ember has a 90% win rate.
I feel like a lot of
to be honest,
Winter
if you're going to have a lot of wins,
over
you're going to have a lot
rate.
of high win rates.
Yes. When you win 9 out of your 10 games,
Stats with Shiver.
Here's the thing. Like, banning against this team is a nightmare. Like, what do you ban? They're very comfortable opening up with, like, Queen of Pain or Ember. I didn't even see that.
Wow.
There you go.
I didn't even see that.
There you go.
And then they pick Queen of Pain Ember. All right.
Queen of Pain Ember. Very scary draft to go up against straight away. But I really, really like the Night Stalker coming out for 4 Clovers because we know that they like to determine the pace of the game with that specific hero. And if they can do that, if they can start that before Queen of Pain or Ember even make a move, I think they're looking good.
And they have the silence. That's good.
It's just a run-at-you type of opening, I think, with the Night Stalker in particular, and that's what 4 Clovers really thrive on. Obviously, Sexy Bamboo, that's his play style in a nutshell. I think running at you, I think, is the best opportunity. For Team Liquid, they pick up, obviously, 2 strong heroes like Lumi was talking about. I mean, Quap has been a mainstay in not only this patch, but the last patch as well, too. So I think that's going to be... I've seen a lot of safe lane Ember Spirit, so I imagine that's where it's going to go. And then mid lane for Fata is something he's pretty good with on the Queen of Pain. So we'll see where they decide to land everything up. But the Night Stalker, I think, is going to be the X factor for 4 Clovers. If they can get that going, maybe get a gank in the first night time, start roaming around, I think that'll be very important for them.
And also the supports they're playing against is really important. Bane is a good example. Like, who is Night Stalker's food going to be, pretty much? But in the same vein, Bane also has advantages against Night Stalker. If he can just sleep Night Stalker at the start of the team fight, that's going to do wonders. Because if that's the offlane hero and he can't nuke, like be a threat to people, get vision, you know, silence people, then it'll give Team Liquid a really big advantage. So it's the Night Stalker can really go either way.
And with the Nightmare change, that your Nightmare you can't see around you. Removes the vision, so you also, if it's nighttime or if he has an axe.
That's actually big.
Shiva, that's a really good point.
Thank you. Apparently, I'm known for making good points.
Kevin on the couch is handing out good points.
Yes.
That's very important.
Like A+ for you.
Yeah, A+.
But yeah, if they don't have the Night Stalker to get in there fast, because obviously one of the initiators is going to get stopped, so they pick up the Slardar, which potentially is also a really good initiator to go on that Bane straight away. I really like that.
Yeah, again, it's more initiation. You roam around the map, maybe get an early Blink Dagger, sprint in as well. Just a lot of initiation coming out from 4 Clovers. The amplified damage obviously helps out too with the Night Stalker involved. There's just a lot of physical damage coming through. And Slardar is actually one of the most picked heroes, I think, in this patch. I know a lot of people have been running it off lane, like Moo in particular, in the NA scene. But he's just a hero that has been, like Doom actually, has kind of seen a resurgence, which, I mean, I don't mind. Slardar is pretty awesome. But Team Liquid, they pick up the Bane like we talked about. And I was talking to Peter about this PPD, and he stated that that was one of the best supports in this particular patch. And that might just be PPD because he loves picking that hero, but he really praised it.
Other people pick up on it. Yeah. So there you have it. So from my point of view, if you're picking up a Queen and an Ember early on, it's kind of predictable what you're going to do with those heroes. Is that not a bit of a downside to picking up those two heroes very early on?
It's not. I mean, where does the predictableness be a bad thing? Like with Ember, a lot of people just buy Boots of Travel right now, and then if a gank or team fight happens that he can help with, he will be there, and that's never a bad thing. Like predictable.
Is it something that you can prepare for if you're for Clovers?
I guess predictable in the laning stage.
Yeah.
Which I think that's one of Team Liquid's strength. When they win games, they generally have very strong lanes. More importantly, Jerax has been kind of the go-to player for the early game roam, which I wonder what his hero is. He could play the Bane, but normally he plays a little bit. He generally plays a 4, so I guess you could run Bane as a 4, but I think they're drafting his hero last. And back at least when he played on 4ASC, his roam really determined whether their team won or lost. So he is definitely a high impact player. And he remains a high-impact player in Team Liquid.
Do you think they could get away with something a bit grittier, maybe like a Sand King for Drax, and have strong solo support for the Bane?
I think that's a benefit of picking like Queen Ember, because your lanes are fairly strong, and you have Clockwork now. So I think they definitely can get away with it. Whether they want to do so is another matter.
This 4 Clovers lineup is pretty similar to what they did earlier.
Just now, yeah.
It was Wind Ranger, Winter Wyvern. Was it a different? Who was the other fish?
They had Slark instead of the Slider.
But Wind Ranger's really good. I know Pycat had a bit of a tough time in the previous game and he was countered by Crimson Guard. But if you do get ahead on this hero, he's kind of ridiculous. He just kills so many cores that normally won't die.
And that feels like Pycat's hero too. He was one of the first people to innovate it and innovate the Slasher's Way build, go for the Aghanim Scepter first, and then go from there. So he's obviously comfortable on the hero. And again, it comes down to, I think, them getting ahead, especially in that first night. If 4 Clovers get a good start, if they get a good first night, then I think they just snowball out of control, and they'll be in a really good situation. For Team Liquid, it's about maybe getting the Ember Spirit farm, Queen of Pain getting the occasional gank with the Clockwork as well.
6.
Yeah, exactly.
They really do have pretty good options against Ember Spirit. Shackle Shot, Blink Stun from Slardar. They can maybe force or blink Winter's Curse if Nightstalker gets a silence off. If any of those things land, they're going to be able to follow up on him unless Clockwork counter initiates. So that's going to be the hard part for 4 Clovers. If they can kill the Ember, if Ember continues to die, then they're going to be happy. But it might be tough to get to there.
I'm mostly thinking. I mean, Team Liquid has so much mobility on their team; it's insane. And control now also with Global Silence from Silencer. But looking at the draft, I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think is going to take it? The first game. You don't have to say the series, just the first game.
Man, I like the 4 Clovers lineup better, but Team Liquid does have the better
results
record.
Yeah.
I like 4CL's draft more too. I'm not so on the silencer support. I think Cap would agree with me in a bit. But again, records speak for it, so I guess I have to side with the stronger team.
I think if they can get that global off before they get ganked, if they can get a quick level 6 in the silencer, fine. Maybe Team Liquid have an okay draft, but I agree with all of you guys. I think 4CL just have the better early game. They have the better ganking squad. And if they can transition that, they'll be in a good spot. So.
Well, we're going to find out if indeed Cap agrees with the support silencer, because it is time for our first game of our second series, Team Liquid taking on 4 Clovers with Capitalist and Synderen.